Okay guys, so I'm gonna give you guys an update, and this seems to be a really good I would say an improvement in me trying to diagnose exactly what the problem is. So if you've been following my videos, just want to give you this update since my last video, because yesterday I realized that the battery sensor, there's a little sensor that sits on top of the battery, and that is integral to the hybrid system. If that sensor is broken off, is malfunctioning, and there's a plastic bracket that breaks off, if it breaks off, you're gonna have this check hybrid system message come on with all these lights, because what happens is that sensor detects that either there's no battery there, or if it's too far away from the battery itself. But I'm going to show you where that sensor is in this video. But let me just cut this short, because after putting that sensor on, I've been getting different symptoms, which have led me to understand this hybrid system, the battery system, a bit more. So basically, after putting that system on, and I think that because that sensor was not on the position that it was supposed to be on, sitting on top of the battery, that I had a couple issues. The hybrid system was reading a couple issues, okay, and one of those issues was that battery sensor, and that's probably why this Prius keeps on, at times keeps on, the engine keeps on running, probably because it feels like the 12 volt, since it's not connected, it didn't read the 12 volt, and it felt like the 12 volt wasn't charging. So the engine kept on running to try to charge it, and after time you get this check hybrid system. So once I realized that, it kind of resolves one of the issues that I had with this whole hybrid battery problem, with the engine constantly running and not shutting off, etc., etc. But I ran the codes yesterday, and guess what? I got this P011 code, and this P0. Now, I didn't get this code before. The other code, the other code, the A80 code, that's the code that I constantly did get. Did not get this code. And it wasn't until I put the sensor on that this code came up. If you guys don't know, and I don't know why, like, if you guys watched all the videos on trying to figure out which cell is the issue on the hybrid battery and doing load tests and etc., not a single one of these people actually mention these codes. It ranges from P3011 to P0 12 or something like that, or P0112 or something like that, because this 11 actually stands for the block that the issue is at. Now, if I had this code 4 months ago, I would have realized it would have been easy fix. All right, I would have realized there's two blocks on each battery. The bus bar connects to two blocks. At least one of those batteries on at least one of those cells on that block has issues. And if I had known this 4 months ago, I wouldn't have gone through all that I've gone through in the last 4 months, trying to diagnose and question every single thing that could have caused this issue as far as my hybrid battery is concerned. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, this drove me nuts, and the further that I keep on playing around with it, it's like I'm going through the same thing over and over again, knowing what that it's not going to be resolved. I know it's like that saying, if you're like doing the same thing, the definition of insanity, if you keep on going through the same thing knowing that you're going to get the same result. But that, this is my first time working on the hybrid system, so I You know, I didn't know too much about it, but I didn't, you know, it's not the easiest thing. It's not rocket scientist, but it's not rocket science, but it's not the easiest thing to figure out, especially when you start having electrical issues and stuff like that. And it's not the easiest thing to diagnose, being that if you change something up and you want to know whether that fixes the problem, you have to drive a whole entire cycle to actually have it the computer actually go through and test everyone. It's just really annoying. But I've had this check hybrid system come up really fast recently, like within like 30 minutes of driving it, and the fans turned on, and the engine won't turn off, and all this stuff. And this is my code. So I know with this code which block the problem lies in. All right, now I have 2 other batteries that I did get from eBay, and I'm gonna swap out that block. Hopefully that resolves it. I don't know why it wouldn't resolve it, considering it's telling me exactly which cells are having issues. And I don't know why all these people are constantly putting out videos on how to test your hybrid battery for dead cells and bad cells, considering they could have just, you know, told people, you know, I didn't think this was a thing. I mean, for the most part, from the time I started working on these batteries, I was scratching my head thinking to myself, why didn't Toyota put in specific codes for, you know, the battery sensor? Now, granted, the battery sensor wasn't malfunctioning or broken. It just, the bracket broke off, and I didn't put it back on to the bracket. And I guess that's why I didn't throw a code, and it threw this hybrid battery system, and that's probably, so I can actually not blame Toyota for that. But as far as this code is concerned, I think that issue actually masked other issues in the system. So it's like if you have like multiple issues with your system, and that's one of those things, it's gonna have you fix that first before it actually tells you the second issue with the battery, because this code never came up for like 4 months, 5-6 months, or however long I've had this issue. They never had this code come up. And this is a lifesaver. If you guys, if your battery sensor is functioning correctly, guys, and you guys want a quick way to figure out what the problem is, if the problem, let me just put it this way, if the problem is specifically with your battery cell, you're gonna get a code that tells you which block there's a problem with. If your battery, if you don't get a code, if you don't get a general code for this, for like which battery block is the issue, you have other issues, including maybe a fan issue, an ECU issue, a fuse issue, you know, some other issue. Because if you had no other hybrid battery issue and the cells are dead, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get a code just like this, specifically for which battery has issues. And this is a lifesaver, because then you don't have to guess, you don't have to test out, you don't have to load test, which is BS to me, because I load tested all these cells, seems to be all right. So just to save you guys some time, because I spent a lot of time on this, and I'm putting a lot of videos up on this, just to save you guys some time. If you guys get a specific code for what cell it is, 99% of the time it's your battery cells that's bad, and it's going to tell you specifically what cells are bad. If you don't, if all you get is this code and you don't get any other code, like replace hybrid battery pack, or it just tells you check hybrid battery system, chances are there's something else with your hybrid battery that's at the pack itself, like the fan, the fuses, the ECU, the wiring, any of those things. But anyway, I'm gonna be putting that battery, I'm gonna be swapping out those tube cells today, and hopefully that'll be the last of this, because it's just giving me I'm actually this thing has frustrated me to no end, guys. But if you guys have any questions, leave a question in the comment section. Please subscribe, all that thumbs up. Hope these videos have helped you out, because it's made me an expert in hybrid batteries at this point, particularly PRIUS hybrid batteries, particularly with the cells and stuff like that. It's made me an expert, particularly with these batteries with the cells, because I know the newer ones, you know, not all hybrids have these batteries and cells. They actually have it. There are a couple of them. Anyway, let me just stop talking. There are a couple of them that have it in like huge, big blocks. But I'll tell you guys whether it fixes my problem. Okay, guys, take care.